one in the section. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little check.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Soak the picture in. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. It's time to bleed. Let's do it. We got a building. Anwar Willis, Dwayne Jones, Isaiah Felix, my brother from down under, Watcher is in the building. Big homie Coop, Eric H. A kind dude, Rick Blackwell. My brother Art Hostage is in the building. Salute. 704 Joe, salute. There it is. That's right, the welterweight champion of the world, Errol Spence. Hey, man. Yep. Dill Spoolie, Ring Dragon, how those Kings doing? Salute to you. Snacks B, Antonio MMA, Rod Neal, my brother, salute. CB Sports TV in the building. David Scott III, Steve L. the Mac, Brian H. Good morning, counselor. The Brothers UK. This is like my first or second sub right here. Salute to you. Jose Diaz, Ace Daddis, A Wavy, David Scott III, Andrew Gray, GP, Jose Diaz, Asante L, Snacks B, Jay Grant, Prolific One, Tay D, John Pounds, salute. 24 Ant. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. Keith James. This shit jumped on me. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. You see the picture, soak it in. Got a special treat for y'all this morning. The brother Stormy B, man. Salute Sensei.
Man, I don't deserve such good treatment, bro.
Nah,
What's
yeah,
good, man? Hey, I just gotta say this about that thumbnail, man.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like Champ is asking Ruiz, want to grab some tacos after this?
No, wait a minute. That might be deemed as racist.
No, man. No, listen, hold on. Before someone want to go that route, right? We know Andy like to eat, man. That's all I'm saying. You know, so it could be a pizza. So, you understand?
How about this? How about Andy's asking Deontay, what does collard greens taste like?
Nah, that's racist.
That's racist. I hear all this talk about collard greens. Do you really eat them with cornbread? Do you eat them out when the juices from the collard greens get on the cornbread? I would like some. Be like, come on down to Alabama. I'll show you how to make all that.
Hey, leave it to me to come in this morning stirring up stuff early in the morning.
You think Andy knows some shit about some neck bones and collard greens?
Hey, I tell you one thing: if the champ take him home down there where he at in Alabama, and Andy get a chance to get some of that good old home cooking, you know what he gonna do? Just like in was that Harlem Nights, when that cop picked up the phone and called home about sunshine.
Rosita, I'm not coming home.
I'm not coming back. I'm never coming back. Kiss your mommy goodbye.
Fucking bullshit!
Oh my God, I'm tearing up early. Oh my God. Oh my
man.
God, that's funny. Oh my God.
Damn.
The roast is early. The roast is early. Well, let's go in order. I want to talk about, before I get to that, I want to talk about Usyk Dogboe and his improvements. Usyk Dogboe, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. After he lost to Navarrete, I wasn't sure if he was capable of making proper adjustments to fight guys taller than him and do what he needed to do as a fighter. I thought it was over. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought it was over for him. I thought, pressure fighter. I kind of called him the African Ricky Hatton, because Ricky Hatton was a one-trick pony. If he couldn't maul you, he can be outboxed. Period. That's who Ricky Hatton was. He just had a really big fan base. So, I respected the fan base. The UK fans are amazing. They support their fighters. 100%. Amazing. I often am on record saying that I wish American fans were like that for their fighters, but, you already know how I feel about that. So there was concern with Dogboe. I said, man, I remember he was on fire. He was crashing onto the scene. He was very marketable. Now, whatever he says, whatever the fuck it is. I'm like, I like that guy, man. And then Navarrete said, yo, hold my tecate. I got you. And he outboxed him. And I said, shit, it might be, I don't know if he can adjust. I don't know. But as Stormy always says, it comes down to coaching. And then can the fighter execute? Comes down to coaching. And if the coaching is right, the fighter has to execute. I've seen small time fights where I've been in the corner listening and the fighter is just not executing. And when I hear key things, when you hear a coach say, yo, look, we've been over this. This guy that's whooping your ass, it's now round 4. He's whipping your ass. We went over this and over this in the gym. I told you what he was going to do. You're not listening. When I hear that, it's not the coach, it's the fighter. The fighter has to execute. And what we saw with Dogboe was a different fighter. He needed that ass whooping and he needed that time out of the ring. Because once again, he fought a guy that was taller than him, punching down, and he was able to properly adjust. Now, he didn't wash him, but if he didn't make any changes, he'd have lost. I saw a different fighter, and I appreciate that. He got a new trainer, all right? And his father stepped out the way his father understood what his son needed, which is great. And the most important thing was that Dogboe was able to execute what he learned. And I appreciate that. So it's not over. It's not over. Hold on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What you talking about? What happened? What? Hold on. Hold on. Now go ahead and cook, Stormy. Go ahead and cook.
Oh wow, that's a blow this morning. I hope the brother's okay. Regarding Usyk Dogboe, the one thing that I'd like to take note of was that the losses against Navarrete proved how limited his skill set was. He's very strong at the weight and very aggressive, but he lacked a lot of boxing ability. And he would get tired in the later rounds. Remember, when we first were introduced to him, he was kind of going through some guys. But in the battles against Navarrete, he was taken deep into the fight. He didn't have the answers in the later rounds, and he fatigued. So in the first fight, he dropped that decision to Navarrete. His second fight, he was stopped really badly. And it just showed the limited skill set that he had. Now, the one silver lining is that he did recognize that he needed to make a change. So Usyk Dogboe did change up who worked his corner. His dad is no longer his chief cornerman. And in this fight he just had, it was nice to see great Barry Hunter out there coaching him from the ringside. So with that being said, I noticed some things were different about Dogboe's performance. He was not staying on the inside, languishing, going toe for toe, blow for blow. He was getting his shots off and trying to step out. But what he did early on was he was stepping out in the same type of pattern, which Gonzalez made the adjustment of getting mid-range on him and ceasing him from being able to comfortably get out on that same left side. Dogboe's left, Gonzalez's right. But what he also managed to do was take some of the power off the punches to make sure he's just touching the guy from time to time. When you throw your sets of combinations, get those punches off, and then, just look to score points. His punches were a lot tighter, crisper, a little straighter in some instances, but not the wild and looping shots that he was noted for earlier, prior to the Navarrete fights and also during the Navarrete fights. So we could see a work in progress of adjustments that Usyk Dogboe was making going into this fight. And that's very pleasant. It's a great thing. He's 28 years old. The upside of this is that he did not stay mired into what he was always doing. He's trying to make the proper adjustments that will allow him to continue on with his career. The other part of this is, if it do be the fact that Barry Hunter working with him as he is, if they could get him to learn how to use a timing jab, and he utilizes that jab to close space, gaps, also to work up and down with the jab, it would really serve him a tremendous justice. It reminds me a lot of like when Mike Tyson fought Tony Tucker back in '87. Now, Tony Tucker was 6'5", almost 6'6", similar dimensions to Lennox Lewis, 80-inch reach, very mobile on his toes. And during that fight, Tyson came out early trying to just go for his knockout like he normally does. And Tony Tucker rocked Mike with this uppercut that put Mike back on his heels early in the bout. He also hurt his hand on that landing that punch. But he was boxing Mike very well, keeping Mike on the outside, tying Mike up on the inside. But Kevin Rooney, working Mike Tyson's corner back in those days, was able to get Mike Tyson to settle into the fact that you may have to score points and box in this fight. You can still utilize your aggression. You can still utilize your power punches. But I want you to go in behind your jab. And Tyson began to use the timing jab. He would allow Tony Tucker to do something and make moves off of what Tucker was doing. He would slip the jab, come back with his own double jab to get closer, and then follow up with his succession of shots. Or he would slip the jab, Tucker back, double jab. Or sometimes he would wait and anticipate that Tucker's about to do something, and he'll get his shot off first, leading with that jab. It was due to Kevin Rooney getting him to buy into what he was telling him to be successful with Tucker, because the fight ended up going the distance, and Mike ended up winning a decision in a bout where it was one of those fights where he went the distance, but he was able to do enough offensively to make the judges take note that he was in the fight, and the other guy just wasn't scoring and tying him up. So that was a situation where it was quite similar because of the dimensions. Tyson being 5'11" or so, and Tony Tucker being 6'5", 6'6". And that's a lot like Dogboe, Navarrete, Dogboe, and a little bit of Gonzalez. When you see those dimensions like that, the shorter guy has to be able to optimize his disadvantage in height by making the other guy expose himself, especially if the guy is punching down at you. Because if he's punching down, there is an opening to the chin, to the chest, to the body, and you have to know the combination of punches to throw off of whatever it is he's doing. So that's why you talk about timing, the timing jab, the timing counter, things of that nature. So that's my explanation on that. And that's what I see happening with what Barry Hunter was able to do with Dogboe going into this fight. And he had success. And as you saw in the later portion of the rounds, that the judges did give him the benefit of scoring because he was active in there. He wasn't just loading up on shots, trying to knock the guy out. He was scoring points and making the most of it. If he's in close, let my hands go. If the guy ties me up, I could rest during those moments too. But as soon as I get free, break free, whatever, I'm letting my hands go again. And that type of, as Andre Ward likes to say, body language is the thing that can help influence judges in that instance. So, okay, Drew, you back?
Yeah. He good. Southern T's good. He awake. Memphis is crazy. Don't know what led to that, but he's all right. Had to get some surgery. He was hit twice. Don't know what it was over. Don't know what happened, but Memphis is crazy. I don't know what's going on over there in that city, man. But he all right. And as I get updates, we'll keep you updated. I was on the phone with her. First of all, I called this phone. No answer, of course. Then I called Destiny Black. She gave me the news that she had, and then I called G5 Gabe, and they keeping me updated. I don't know what's Trill Will salute, Jill James salute. I don't know. I don't know. So, but he's awake. You know, it's not a. He gonna make it. He gonna make it. So, you know, I mean, look, we're not promised tomorrow, man. You know, we're not promised tomorrow. We don't know what happened. We don't know if it's foul play. We don't know if it's accident. We don't know. But I'm just glad to hear that he all right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we'll talk. That's the fam right there, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, thank you, Alan Cummins, because I had no idea. I had no idea, man. I had no idea. Thank you. And this is why family is important, because, you know, a lot of us don't have each other's numbers, and this is how we communicate. You know, I have his number, you know what I'm saying, but how am I supposed to know, you know, what happened? You know what I mean? You know, for those of you that don't know, Southern T was shot, but he's okay. He's okay. You know what I'm saying? There go Destiny. There it is. You know, and I'm just gonna leave that there. I don't want to, you know, take the show into that direction. But look, I don't know what it was about. I don't know what happened. You know, but you know, there's some. And thank you, Destiny, for the update. Just keep me posted, sis. I appreciate you. You know, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what happened. I don't know. But I'm glad he's all right. You know what I'm saying? But Memphis is this ain't the first time I heard about Memphis, like something happening over there. It's not, from what I heard, Memphis is like the old South Bronx. It was not safe here well, I don't live in the South Bronx, but in the 80s, it was not safe. It was not cool. You know what I mean? So listen, man, boxing, please. I'm just glad the brother's okay. We'll talk. We'll talk. But all right, fuck it. All right, so I'm sure, you know, Stormy covered Dogboe to a T. Nice way to segue back into boxing. This shit is like enraging. It's like enraging. MP, what the fuck? What's good? Jafar Cesar, salute. Jermaine Jubilee, salute. Salute, y'all.
Yeah, I pointed out, because I know you were engaged in a conversation on the phone, but I just pointed out a similarity of how, you know, coaching from the corner can pull a fighter through something. And in Dogboe's case, I think Barry Hunter was able to convince him of what he was showing him, keeping his punches tighter instead of being so wide and broad, taking power off the shots, not looking to overexert himself, trying to knock a guy out with every punch that you throw. It preserves your stamina just to move your hands and put hands on the guy. And I gave an example of the 1987 undisputed fight between Mike Tyson and Tony Tucker, where Tucker had a sizable height and reach advantage over Tyson, and even rocked Tyson really badly in that first round with an uppercut, which Tucker also hurt his hand on that shot. But as the rounds went on and started to progress, Kevin Rooney had to reel Mike in to stop just headhunting and going for the knockout, and to box, to use his boxing ability, but behind his jab. Like
behind
when
the
jabs, you got to anticipate his jab, or you slip his jab and come back with your own, or anticipate when he's going to throw, you get your shots off, but everything behind the jab, not just headhunting with a big shot to throw a bomb. And that type of coaching helped Tyson through that fight, where it ended up being a unanimous decision for Mike, you know, a victory. It was a close fight, but Tucker didn't win the fight at all, because he held a lot more than he punched. But Mike was able to do things because of Kevin Rooney's reminding of him what to do through the fight, and him entrusting in to Kevin Rooney. Because later in his career, there were guys that maybe worked his corner that he didn't entrust in them as much as he did with Rooney. Rooney definitely had his ear, but Rooney also knew off of the style that he fought, the certain things that he could tell Mike, that Mike could do something and see the immediate results. So it goes a long way when your trainer has your ear, and then when you are able to execute what he's saying to you, it gives you more confidence in what he's saying to you to promote your progress in doing more, or doing more of what he's asking of you.
Yeah, I forgot about that. When you go back and look at the Tony Tucker fight, also, this was the Mike Tyson from the 80s. So when you went to a Mike Tyson fight, you was expecting an outstanding knockout. But Rooney was with a very keen trainer's eye. You know, you're right, he reeled Mike in and said, listen, he knew that if he headhunted this guy all fight long, Mike would have ate something, you know, and he didn't want that. Box this guy. They're already scared, you know what I'm saying? And when Mike got close, what do? You tie him up. That's what you're trained to do. So he made it to the end of the fight, but he didn't win it, you know, but you know, he wasn't a KO victim. You understand what I'm saying?
There was another fight where there was an instance of Rooney having to remind him of something against Pinklin Thomas. When Pinklin Thomas was kind of like keeping Mike at the end of his punches and tying him up on the inside, and he comes back to the corner after one of the rounds, and Kevin Rooney is talking to Mike, and Mike says to Kevin, he says, he's holding me on the inside. And Kevin Rooney is like, bullshit, you're letting him hold you. He's like, you can punch it, you can punch out of that when he's trying to hold you. You can punch, use your free hand, punch up out of there. And within a couple of rounds, Mike did exactly what Kevin Rooney was saying. When Pinklin was trying to reach out and grab, he was like banging that body, man. And of course, them hands come down because you're trying to protect yourself. Then Mike started going back up top, and he was able to catch Pinklin Thomas. So
I'll never forget, man. I'll never forget, in the gym, I had a trainer tell me, he said, there's no rule that says when you're in the clinch, stop punching. He said, you fire off until that ref stop you. I don't care. If you're getting fouled, foul back. But he said, it's not your job for you to be the ref. That's what he told me. You're not the ref. The ref is supposed to stop you when you're doing something wrong. All right? He said, there's no rule. So when you're in that clinch, there's no rule that says you got to stop firing. He said, you fire until the ref stop you. So yeah, you're right. That slipped my mind about the Pinklin Thomas thing. Yeah, I can punch in the clinch. Oh yeah. Then he started doing it. You understand? So that's why coaching is important. And salute to Mr. Martin, that super chat. Much love and appreciation. And thank you for your service, brother. Yes, sir. All right. So now, let's talk about the topic at hand. This right here. I was looking at an article on Boxing Scene, and Andy Ruiz says, I'd love to fight Wilder. We're both with the PBC, easy to make. I didn't read the article. I don't think there's a need for me to read it. You know, maybe I'll read it anyway. He says anything. Let me just scan through it right now. Well, look. He says we're both under the PBC and Al Heyman. The fight should be easy to make. You know, would love to fight Wilder if he comes out of retirement. He already said he was coming back. All right, well, look. Listen. It's a short article. It's on Boxing Scene. You can go find it. Here's the thing. Paul Carrick, salute my brother. How are you? Mackin South, AB, salute. And commentary, DB Market Track, salute, y'all. Whoa, what up? All right, here's the deal, man. I don't know why. Well, look. As far as the industry knows, Wilder's home chilling. They don't know what he's going to do. Well, he said it on 78's live stream. He said it what he's going to do. And they act like they didn't hear it. They act like they didn't see that. But they heard it. Look. First of all, Andy got a task in front of him. He got a 6'5" Cuban that he's gonna have to fight. Yeah, I know, and I know Andy went in there and he fought the best of the best in Anthony Joshua. There you go. Marco, what's good, bro? What's popping? Yes, sir. Listen. He has a very dangerous fight ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why people keep bringing up Deontay. Oh, I know why. Because Deontay is still the face of fucking boxing. He's still the face of boxing, y'all. Bottom line. See, whether you like it or not. Andy Ruiz is about to fight a guy that Deontay knocked out twice. And he's talking about Deontay Wilder as if this is going to be a cakewalk. Look, listen, man, y'all know I like Andy a lot, man. I like his story. It don't get any better than that. Well, Usyk Cruz is pulling a close second as it applies today. You know, Usyk Cruz ain't had no food in the fridge, and then Tank Davis fight happened, and he's fine now. Andy Ruiz was 2 seconds from leaving the sport. He was about to say, fuck it, I'm done. And then they thought he was food for AJ, and look what happened. I mean, there was some bullshit that Joe Townsend in the building. Salute, accurate aim. Alfred, what up? I like stories like that. Yeah, Antonio MMA, I'm gonna get to that. That's real talk. Now, we all know Styles make fights and everything, and Ortiz is like 104 years old, according to y'all. Y'all know I'm older than King Kong Ortiz, right? How old is King Kong? 40, 41? What's wrong with my damn camera? How old is he?
No telling, really, man. The Cuban fighters, they really play with their ages, man. They really play. Yeah. But if I were to guess, Ortiz is about your age.
Yeah?
I would guess. Yeah.
Well, he's uncle status.
Yep.
But on paper, I'm older than that guy. And we both have high blood pressure, so he ain't bullshitting about that. The difference is I never took a pet in my life. He has. But the man is still dangerous. Because still ain't nobody running to fight him. We were supposed to get this Ruiz fight a little while ago. And I don't care. Even if AJ beats Usyk, he ain't gonna rush in the ring to fight no King Kong Ortiz.
Just remember the problems that Andy ran into when he was fighting
Areola?
Chris Areola, who is not the skilled fighter that even a over 40 King Kong Ortiz is.
Right.
And King Kong is a southpaw. And King Kong can box. And King Kong can set shots up. He's not just a plodding guy that's going to come out there trying to take your head off. He'll throw some shots to put you in position to get to you. Just ask Prince Charles Martin.
Yeah. And Charles Martin was in that fight until he wasn't in the fight.
Yep.
And you see, as you can see, getting knocked down doesn't really bother King Kong. You see,
he got up against Deontay, didn't he?
Listen, he'd fight Deontay again because that's just who he is. I'm convinced there's certain fighters today that are fighting in the wrong era. King Kong Ortiz was supposed to be fighting in the 80s and 90s. That's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of guy he is, man. He was supposed to be fighting guys like Larry Holmes in the 80s, man. That's how good he is. He's in the wrong era. Callie, what up, bro? I don't know why Andy's talking about Deontay when we're not sure. Now, again, y'all, this is boxing, y'all. This is boxing. He could go in there and land something, and Ortiz be like, oh, well, you know, it's over. He could. But this isn't Anthony Joshua. This ain't Anthony Joshua. Does Andy have the power to sleep Ortiz like Deontay did? No. Charles Martin was in that fight, man. He dropped Ortiz in the first round. I thought he had a leg injury and all that. But you saw what happened. He hit Charles so hard that he looked.
He was looking. He heard his mama calling him when he was like 7 years old. Charles, it's dinner time. He was looking out in the audience like that. Is that my mom?
Yo, he hit him. You remember the first Matrix? The bitch in the red dress? He saw that bitch in the first row. Bing! He was like, there she goes. That's her right there. Ortiz hit him so hard, he saw the next 5 Marvel phases. Boom! There's 5, 6, 7. I know it all. I seen it. Oh, I'm in a fight? And his arm is tied up in the damn rope.
Hey,
what the fuck?
Hey, listen, I'm still trying to figure out how did his arm get twisted up in the ropes like that, Drew? Because the way they had to untie it, they had to unwrap it like this. But I never saw it wrap up like that. So it's like, bing, you tangled up. You just, entanglement with August. Entanglement with August. He was all wrapped up in the ropes. I'm like, how the hell he get wrapped up like that, bro?
Yo.
What was that? Man, King Kong Ortiz put that sucker in an entrapment.
Yo.
Let me show you a few tricks I brought back from China. He said,
yo, he woke up. Wait. I gotta get this picture. Because this really it embodies. And salute to Charles Martin, man. I like Charles, man, but you know how we do here. We got to get you when something weird happens. We got to get you. Hold on. I got to get you, Charles. I got to get you. Wait, where the fuck is it? I know I got it.
Hey, what's that song? Hey, what's that song when Black Panther, the movie, opened up when it was like, ooh, what do we? He hit him in the head. Boom! He heard that song playing. He was looking out into the ooh, what did you do? Wow.
Stormy, wait a minute. Wait. Where the fuck is it? I got it.
The ancestors calling me home.
He woke up talking to his ancestors on all those panthers on the tree. Yo, King Kong hit Charles Martin, and he ended up like this.
Exactly.
Yo, Ortiz hit Charles Martin, he ended up like this motherfucker.
Activate interlock.
Fucking bullshit!
Oh man.
Oh my God. Oh, King Kong hit him, he ended up like that. I was like, oh shit. Nitty G, what up? Nigga, that Charles Martin. Ortiz hit him, he ended up like that.
Fucking bullshit!
Oh man.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't. I'm fucking crying over here. Oh shit. All right, seriously, y'all. Serious. This is boxing. Serious. I don't know what Andy's. I don't know why Andy thinks it's safe to talk about Deontay. But he got King Kong up.
You better focus up.
Man, I don't know. Let me see. Let me go to that article. Maybe somebody asked him. It says former heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz is hoping to secure a major fight before the end of the year. 2019, Andy shocked the world by killing Anthony Joshua. Don't say that. I'm just going through this. But 6 months later, he lost. Okay. Ruiz finally returned to the ring. Chris Ariola, he got floored, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He has 2 defeats on his record. And with both of them coming from the hands of Ortiz has 2 defeats on his record coming from Deontay. All right. A fight with Wilder is exactly what Ruiz wants to get in an immediate future. Wilder's been out of the ring since last October, blah, blah, blah. Big coke, snorting lines, cheating, gloves. They don't say that. I'm just adding that. The heavyweight division is so open right now, said Ruiz. I just want to get this win first against Luis Ortiz. And like I said, it's a hard opponent, but of course I would love to fight Wilder. Dude, already you fucking up, man. Don't even, I don't know if he was asked or he just brought that up. But if he was asked that, you need to tell him, yo, look, I got to get past this, man. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Because listen, King Kong Ortiz is every bit as dangerous as Deontay, but on another level of danger. It's a different level of danger, but it's still danger. What's worse, getting electrocuted or drowning? Both will kill you. But what's worse? You know what I'm saying? So he needs to chill. Focus on this. Matter of fact, look, there's a different, it's dangerous, but there's a different element of danger. I think Ortiz, see, death row, lethal injection, or hanging, or electric chair, or whatever. Look, man, you die in all of those scenarios. All right, Ortiz, it'll be a systematic breakdown. At the end of round 3, you're like, I think my jaw broke. I can't see out my right eye. I got to figure out this southpaw stance. My fucking ribs hurt. He's strong. I'm trying to clinch. He's strong. I don't have leverage. I'm 6'2", he's 6'5". See, that's a systematic death. Deontay is one punch and it's over. You're waking up. You're on the floor. You're like, 9! Oh, shit. What happened? Look at the replay. Yo, who's the fighter that got hit? Jamal, what up? Tay, good morning. Ricky Samuel, Kane, what up? Who's the fighter that got hit? And even in the post-fight, he was like, I ain't get knocked out. You know
that was what's his name? The European dude. Yeah, he was saying he still don't punch hard and stuff like that. But the dude was unconscious, had a neck brace on and everything.
He's like, what punch? And everyone was like, yo, no, get him to the hospital. He's concussed. You know, so pick your poison. I think this Ortiz fight will be more of a systematic break. These are things, and I'm not saying Ortiz wins 100%. Just try and feel me on this. The Ortiz fight will be more of a systematic breakdown. Deontay is a one-hitter quitter. And I'm not saying he can't systematically break down Ruiz either. I'm just saying we all know what the danger is with Deontay, and we know what the danger is with Ortiz. But danger is danger. He don't need to be focused on Deontay right now. Ortiz is still up and running, man. We thought he lost a step when Charles Martin dropped him. I ain't even gonna lie. I said, oh, man, that ain't supposed to be happening. But he stayed in it. And salute to Charles Martin. He ain't come to lay down either, man. He just ate one and the fight ended. And let me say it, we was just in here joking, but Charles Martin is still a live dog. Salute to him. Charles Martin is still a live dog in the heavyweight industry. But I don't know why Andy's talking about Deontay when you about to fight King Kong Ortiz. I don't get this. I don't get it. Salute to my brother, 88 Sports Talk in that super chat. Much love. He said, Ruiz, do you know the last thing to leave is power from the heavyweights? Ortiz got that old man strength. Do you understand? He's been old for a while. Yeah. Now, with the Cubans, they defecting. It's true. Marlon Starling, that's the guy. Marlon Starling. Matter of fact, Marlon was on the show. Oh shit, I forgot to ask him about that. I got his phone number. How the fuck did I forget to ask him about that? Whatever. Thank you, Tad. I appreciate you. Yeah, you're right, counselor. He did struggle with Charles Martin. Charles Martin's a big guy himself too, and he's no slouch. Charles Martin's no slouch. Salute to him. But we don't know how old these Cuban guys are. I'll give him that. But they say on paper this guy's 41. He might be my age. He might be older than me. I don't know. I know there's still an element of danger. That I know. And Ortiz got his hands full. Man. And I don't
see the dual threat of Ortiz is this. He can box. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to outbox him. Then he has a power punch.
Yeah. Out the south.
But he's not. But he's not reckless with his power. He is an experienced guy. He knows how to take something off the shots and then drop something on there. Put some heat on something.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That type of cat and mouse game that a fighter like he can play with you in there. It's like, let's see, AJ gave Ruiz opportunities because he didn't respect him.
Yeah.
And Ruiz's hand speed and the pop on his punches was a little bit shocking to AJ.
It was deceptive.
Yeah, and he never got a chance to readjust in that first fight. Now in the rematch, the way that AJ fought in the rematch tells you how much he respected Ruiz.
Yes.
Because he didn't even want to get close to him anymore. Didn't want to get in a fight on the inside at all or anything. Well, and Ruiz having to chase AJ around, even though he was out of shape and stuff like that, that's kind of not his game. He kind of needs someone to be in front of him. Guess what? King Kong is not going to do that either.
No.
He's not going to do those things. So the man, see, they call themselves aging him out, but he's been watching everybody.
Yeah.
All the way down. If you think this man hasn't sat back and had a hit list, like, okay, if this guy don't fight me, maybe that guy will fight me. If this guy don't fight me, maybe that guy will fight me. Even though Prince Charles Martin was having success against him until he wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you see that kind of thing, and think about it, even in Deontay's second fight against him, he was winning on points in the rounds.
People forget that.
Against Deontay. If Deontay doesn't have that equalizer, he eventually beats Deontay in a decision or breaks him down and maybe stops him late because he was out front. What is Andy going to be able to do?
This is very interesting, and this is always a concern. Counselor Brian H. says, my issue with Ortiz is that his punch resistance, legs do not look the same. He was rocked repeatedly by shots that did not appear to be big for Martin. Well, that's valid. That's a valid concern because of the age and the 2 knockout losses to Deontay. Very valid. And then he gets in the ring with Prince Charles, and it looked shaky because he got dropped. And I was like, oh, man.
But can I say this, though?
Go ahead.
Charles is a big man.
I was about to go there. Charles is no slouch. I mean,
he's a big man.
When you think of Charles Martin,
250 pounds.
You think of Charles Martin, you think of him getting knocked around the ring by AJ. Okay.
And I had even said, if AJ were to fight Martin now, Martin may beat him. Because he's improved that much since their first fight, and AJ really hasn't improved since their first fight.
and I agree with you, Stormy. I think that when they fought, Martin, let's just say this, and this is I have no facts behind this, but that was his first real big payday. He's never going to see that again like that. And I think his money was not legitimately. I'm just saying this as a figure of speech. His check was spent before he had it. He was so happy. What he got, like $7 million for that fight?
I think 9.
$9 million. How could Al Heyman not tell him? Because he's an advisor. Okay, go unify with Deontay and keep the belts here, or go fight this British guy. Do your best, but they offering you $9 million. It would be bad advice for him to tell him not to do that. So I understood it. We didn't like it, but I understood it. I was like, man. And he went over there and lost to AJ, but I don't think he was focused in that fight. And I agree with Stormy. Right now, the aura of invincibility is completely gone. His mindset was totally different from when Andy Ruiz got in there and said, fuck it, I was about to retire. I got robbed my last fight, and they offered me some money to fight the champion of the world. Fuck it. And he went in there, got dropped, and got up off the floor and proceeded to whoop AJ's ass. And although me and Stormy talked about this when it happened, there was some shit going on behind the scenes. Perfect storm type of shit. But it happened. But Charles Martin's a big guy. If he catch anybody clean, what is Charles Martin, like 6'5"? He's a big guy.
Do you remember what he did to Gerald Washington?
Yeah.
He beat the crap out of Gerald Washington.
Yeah, that was scary.
He pounded on that dude. And if Charles is nothing, he's a big, strong heavyweight. He's strong.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Gerald Washington, again, fought Deontay Wilder. And Gerald Washington was in that fight until right hand. And that's just keeping it what it is. Okay? Gerald Washington fought Charles Martin, and they fought on the undercard of Wilder Fury 2. And Charles Martin was whooping his ass. He was whooping his ass bad. And he stopped him. I said, oh, that don't look like the guy that fought AJ.
Nope.
It really didn't.
It did not.
And I know Gerald Washington is not AJ, but what I'm saying is he came in when the bell rang, he came in there with confidence. He came in there with that look like, I'm going to get you. And he got him. And he had that same look when he fought Ortiz. And guess what? He dropped King Kong.
Yep.
And he was in the fight until he got caught, which is why I say Charles Martin is a live dog. He's a very live dog. He'll give anybody fits. But with Ortiz, I understand what Brian H is saying. You know, the chin is, you know, the legs, we don't know. At any given point, he could show his age, whatever it is, age is. You know what I mean? But
and there's one more factor to point out about Martin's performance against Ortiz. He was so successful early against Ortiz that maybe anybody else would have been on their way out. Because he dropped Ortiz, he was scoring, he was landing his combinations, that jab was pumping very well, and Martin is a southpaw too, right?
Yes.
And Ortiz, you know, he got something in him. It's like, yeah, you might knock me down. Yeah, you may pound some good shots. He's like, but I'm still coming to get you. There's not a lot of that in boxing today across the divisions. You have guys who are front runners. They look great while they're out ahead. But you present them with a challenge or a problem that they got to resolve and make an adjustment to, they kind of fold the tent.
True story.
And one thing I'll say about Andy, I don't think Andy will fold the tent. But
yeah, Andy got hard.
You got a big man bearing down on you.
Yeah.
Like we talk about Areola. Areola hurt him bad, but couldn't finish him off.
Too.
But Areola and King Kong Ortiz, regardless of King Kong's present age, those are two different fighters. Two different men.
Let's
put it like this. Areola waited to that point in his life to finally try to fight and win a fight and use some brains and smarts
Some
and stuff
brains,
like that. When he should have been doing that 10 years earlier.
10 years ago.
You
I
understand?
loved Areola, man. Areola, like, damn, it was the early, it was the early 2000s where he broke onto the scene, right? It was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And for a while, man, I was like, yo, man, you know what boxing couldn't deal with? And my friends were like, what? I said, can you imagine a Mexican heavyweight, over 6 feet tall, over like 230 pounds, fighting like Marco Antonio Barrera, fighting like Eric Morales? They're like, yo, they don't get that big. And then Cristobal Areola came on the scene. I said, yo, I think we got one. He had the heart. He spoke perfect English from LA. He's from LA. I liked it, man. I liked his heart. But the problem was the Klitschko's were still around. And he got his opportunity against Vitaly. And I was rooting for him hard, man. But he just couldn't close the distance, man. Vitaly was too smart of a fighter. He was never in trouble. But it was to the point where it was just balls to the wall.
But that also speaks about his character too, Drew, because being what he was after he had arrived on the scene as someone who was definitely someone to take a look at in the heavyweight division, right?
Yeah.
If he wanted to go to the next level, he could have brought some people in to help him get there, and he didn't do that.
True story.
He didn't do that. He enjoyed the celebrity of where he had arrived, and he kind of settled in there.
Yeah.
And he was sold on, well, I'm a bad, Mexican fighter.
Yeah.
And he was happy with that, but not happy with getting better because the Klitschko's, both of them, were vulnerable.
Very.
But it takes someone, again, you get you a good quality trainer to show you how to beat these guys. You're not going to beat them on nuts and guts. You're not, because they were technical savants.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
They knew how to control distance and tie up a smaller man.
When they got with Manny Stewart, after that, it was over. They knew how to use their height and reach. Woo! And it was aggravating to watch, but I'm like, yo, we don't like it. Somebody got to beat him. Naaman Brewster got in there and had some success.
Corey Sanders.
Vitaly, I always said that Vladimir was the more skilled boxer, but Vitaly was mean. He'll try and kill you. And he was bigger than Vladimir. You know what I'm saying? So when Cristobal got that opportunity, and Cristobal wasn't an explosive puncher, but he had a lot of heart, he had some strength, and he was there. He'd be in your chest. And he just could not get over that. He couldn't get past the jab. It was to the point where towards the end of the fight, Vitaly was just tattooing him with the jab, and he was just trying to get close. He was eating 3 jabs just to land, and when he would eat 2 jabs and go in for the kill, tie him up. And the ref would separate him. I said, man, he can't do nothing with him. And he cried at the end of the damn fight. I said, bro, just hit the gym, get some better coaching, and come back. And he never, and that's another thing. I see Cali, my brother, he said Vitaly had a chin. He had a hell of a chin. He had a way better chin than Vladimir. And the thing was, Cristobal, I don't think, especially after that, I don't think he cared to learn anything new until later. And at this point,
that's the point I had made. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it was messed up. Later on, he gets in the ring with Bermain Stavern and got stopped. He got outboxed. You know what I'm saying? I watched both of those fights. He fought him twice. And the second fight.
You know why he cried after the Vitaly Klitschko fight? He cried because the realization of what he didn't know about boxing came to him in those moments. That's what it was. He didn't cry out of, oh, I'm hurt, I'm in pain that I lost. He knew that he couldn't even compete because he looked that bad. It's like, it's almost like the shame came upon him.
You're right.
But he did not.
He said it.
Yeah, he did not go to make it better. See, Lennox Lewis was a smart guy.
Yeah.
When Oliver McCall knocked him out, hit him on his chin and knocked him out, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get the guy that trained the guy that knocked me out.
Smart.
Because that guy was not on my level, wasn't in my class, but he still knocked me out.
Something happened.
So how did that man help him get to me like that? Because Lennox had beaten better fighters than Oliver McCall up to that point.
Yeah.
But he still got knocked out by him.
Mm-hmm.
So he went over there and he got Manny, and Manny was like, okay, but Manny had something attached to it. He was like, if you're gonna let me manage you, pick your fights, this and that, he's like, we'll have something cooking. So he did, because he wanted to get to another level.
Yep.
See, that's what it's about. And remember, if someone is good at something, they don't do it for free. There's a cost.
There's a cost. You know what we need to do, man? We need to do a show on the brilliance of Lennox Lewis. You want to talk about humble? You want to talk about, you know what humble is? Getting knocked out and then running and going get the guy that taught the guy to knock you out. How'd you do that? Because I'm better than this guy. That's humble, man. He said the 2 times when he got knocked out, those mistakes were corrected before he left the fucking ring. Lennox Lewis is an ATG, an all-time great. This guy, it don't get no better than that. He fought in the perfect era. He came along at the right time. And he caught Vitaly. Well, Vitaly, they met each other on the way out. And you even see in that fight, although Lennox, he was tired as fuck. What round was that when he came and he slouched into the damn corner? Man, I forgot what round that was, but he was tired. But he turned the Vitaly Klitschko fight around in his favor by outboxing him. He slugged when he needed to, and he boxed when he needed to. And people say, "Oh man, if that cut wasn't so bad, I would like to see what would have happened." But here's the thing: he got cut because Lennox punched him in his face. He got cut. That's what happened. Vitaly had a great chin, but those boys, you could lump them up easy. You could lump them up.
And
easy.
Vitaly landed a few on Lennox's chin too.
That's right.
Buckled him a couple times, snapped his head back a couple times, and Lennox knew what to do to survive and stay in the fight.
Yep.
You know, it was a good fight between those two guys. But I have to tell you, if they had fought a rematch, Lennox would have stopped him. Because Lennox was the type of guy that would go back to the drawing board and do things. Because remember, Vitaly was a late sub because he was supposed to fight Ken Johnson, I think, or someone like that, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a guy of Vitaly's ilk, you know?
They were supposed to, both of them, what happened was
Kirk Johnson,
he was supposed to fight Kirk Johnson. Kirk Johnson got injured. Vitaly was on the undercard.
Yep.
So they said, you know, Kirk Johnson's injured. Y'all could fight that. Vitaly, whoever he was fighting, he was going to win. And they were setting up the Vitaly versus Lewis fight. And they said, Kirk's injured. Take the main event. And that's what happened. He wasn't in shape for Vitaly. He didn't train for Vitaly. And you could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell in that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he still cut him up. And I wanted to see a rematch, but, you know, I'm not mad at Lennox for saying, you know what? You know, fuck this. He had nothing to prove. He had nothing to prove. So, you know, salute to Lennox, man. Salute to Lennox. Lennox is an all-time great. Lennox is an all-time great. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Lennox at all. And when I was talking shit about him in the 90s, it was because he was so fucking good. I didn't want him to be the Evander Holyfield, but that first fight, Lennox got robbed, man. I ain't even gonna hold you on that. Lennox got robbed, man. Evander, that wasn't no damn draw.
And then he didn't beat Evander at Evander's best either. You know,
He didn't.
The best Evander was the one that Riddick Bowe faced the very first fight. That was the best Evander right there.
And you see,
Bowe had a hell of a time with that Evander. I'm telling you.
woo,
That first fight, that's every bit as good as Ali Frazier won. It really is. And that 10th round, oh my goodness, man.
my God. Exactly, Callie. Lennox said he retired because his body wasn't responding the way it used to. And see, you know. So I didn't buy the fact that people saying, oh, well, he ducked the rematch with Vitaly. I said, look, this man ain't ducked nothing in his life. He spent his whole career he's running towards the fire.
You know something, Drew, and you're right. We should we should do a show on Lennox and talk about the greatness that he brought and how so many people are dismissive of him. That comment by Cali right there, all respect to Cali for that comment. Lennox was smart enough to know my body ain't responding like it used to. I don't need to stick around and give somebody a chance at me when I have held a certain stature of professionalism and, you know, been the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why should I allow someone to make a name off of me? And that's intelligent because he worked for everything he did. He had to chase people down.
Yeah.
He put pressure on Holyfield to fight him for undisputed. He put pressure on Mike Tyson to finally face him. Mm-hmm. He put pressure on Riddick Bowe. And you know, it's like all of that he did was because he wanted to measure himself against whomever they deemed was the best guy. And he faced everybody. And no, he didn't retire undefeated, but he retired as a man who virtually defeated every man he faced in the ring professionally. He defeated every man he faced in the ring professionally.
And he got that get back. That's very important because, you know, it makes you wonder, did the opponents that beat him, did they win the fight or did he lose it? There's a difference. Oliver McCall hit him with something that he didn't see. I'll say that Oliver, you can say he won that. But then when he came back in that rematch, I don't know what the fuck was going. Well, you know, Oliver had mental issues, but he was getting his ass whooped.
Well, let's slow that down a little bit because I don't want to gloss over McCall's victory over Lennox.
Right.
Because remember, Emmanuel was with him for that fight. Now
that's what I'm saying. He won that. He won.
Did,
I can say he won that.
But I'm going to break it down on how it was won. Mm-hmm. Because during that time, Lennox, who was being trained by Pepe Correa, who once worked with Sugar Ray Leonard and Jenks Morton and those guys. But Pepe Correa training Lennox when he turned pro and everything, he always would tell Lennox, you got to get that right hand off. You got to get that right hand in there. He wasn't the kind of guy to be more technical and have a game plan of how to attack your guy. He knew Lennox had a bomb in the right hand, just like Tyrell Biggs. When he fought Tyrell Biggs, he basically bombed Biggs out with the right hand and didn't get into a boxing match with Biggs because remember, back in the 84 Olympics, I think it was, Tyrell Biggs beat Lennox in the Olympics. But with Oliver McCall, Emmanuel trained McCall to every time Lennox Lewis throw his right hand or look like he's going to throw his right hand, you let yours go. And he told him to throw your right hand at his chest. So when Lennox wind up with that right hand, you know you're going to take your chin off center line, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Oliver's throwing the same punch and Oliver takes his chin off where is Oliver's punch gonna land?
Right on his chin.
Because he's telling him to throw it to the chest. Mm-hmm. This was strategy.
That's science right there.
This was tactical. This was technique. That's why I want people to. This was not a lucky punch. It was an intent to punch with that punch, but also targeted at a certain area and everything, knowing what the guy's weaknesses were. This was the genius of Emmanuel Stewart. Go back and watch the fight. This is the kind of thing that, again, when you talk about fighters having someone in that damn corner, man, it make all the difference in the world when it comes time for them to do their job. Sometimes it's the opening round. Sometimes it's the last round or somewhere in between. But this is what it's about. And Lennox was definitely a student of the game. Definitely.
Coaching matters. What were we talking about earlier with Dogboe? Could Dogboe that just fought the other night? I think he can compete. He can compete with Navarrete right now because he's learned. Okay. My favorite analogy as to why coaching is important. My favorite example is Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao. I can't believe that Juan Manuel Marquez, whom at the time you fought 3 motherfucking times, going on the 4th time, you sat in a face-off with Max Kellerman and both y'all coaches, and he told you, Manny and Freddie, to your face, Manny jumps in with his right hand and tries to land the left. Sometime he feints. And all I'm going to do, and he picked Manny up and showed him, I'm going to take his arm and do this, and I'm going to throw the right hand over. And I said, well, damn, he just gave away the goddamn secret. And I'll be damned. Is that not how he knocked Manny out? Matter of fact, during that sparring session, when they did the 24/7, didn't he drop a sparring partner with that same? I was like, what the fuck? Yo, it was like, you cannot make this shit up. I'm like, he knocked him out. And I'm in the house like, yo, I had a fight party. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I said, that was no mistake, y'all. That was no mistake. It was like, nah. One of my boys, oh, it's a lucky punch. I said, no, that was not a mistake. That was not a mistake. I had to show them. I said, look at this. Look what he did to this sparring partner. Doesn't that look like what just happened? I had to shut down the whole pay-per-view. Niggas was passing out. Oh, he gonna knock Marquez out this time. I said, y'all don't know boxing. This was the guy he should have avoided after the 2nd fight. He shouldn't have fought him. Third fight, Marquez got robbed. 4th fight, this shouldn't even be happening. Oh, because your boy Floyd is scared. No, I said, leave Floyd out of this. This is gonna end badly. And I called it. And they had to run me my bread. This should not have happened. Coaching. How does this guy tell you how he's gonna do your man? And Freddie Roach did what? He ain't do dick. That was a coaching fail. That shit was ridiculous. Coaching, y'all. Coaching. It's everything. It's a science, man. It really. That's why it's called the sweet science. What Stormy just explained. When they're throwing at the same time, Oliver's a smaller guy, aimed at the chest. When he was dipping low, while he's throwing his right hand, he dipped low. That's science. You could throw a punch just academically. Tank, when he said he knocked out Rolly, he said he didn't even throw the punch hard. Rolly ran into it. So if you're throwing a punch at a merely 10 miles an hour and someone's lunging in at 50, they're getting hit with 60 miles an hour worth of pressure. If that makes sense. He just threw the punch academically because he knew Rolly would be there. Just throw it. He gonna be there. He literally ran into fucking Tank's fist. That's when he knocked himself out. Science, y'all. Coaching is everything, man. My brother Cali, he said that punch changed the way Manny Pacquiao fights. Manny stopped being reckless. Yeah, he did. He did. That changed everything. It changed everything. Silliness, man. But coaching is everything. But to bring the conversation full circle, you know, Dogboe, his training, his coaching changed, and he's a better fighter now. Made the reference to Manuel Stewart, Chris Arreola. You know, I believe his coaching finally changed. I just wish his coaching changed after the Vitali fight. I don't know what Andy Ruiz is talking about Deontay for. I don't know. You know, that's a comment he could have kept himself. You know, if I can get past King Kong, you know, I would love to fight Wilder. It's wide open now. You know what I mean? But you got to get past Ortiz, man. You definitely got to get past Ortiz because this is look, again, disclaimer, y'all. This is boxing. Andy could go in there and whoop Ortiz in one round. And we were like, oh shit, well, Ortiz need to hang it up. That could happen. It could happen. But it's highly unlikely. I don't see it. And I don't think judging Ortiz's last performance against Charles Martin would be fair because Andy Ruiz can't do what Charles Martin can do. They are two totally different fighters. He can't do what he does, and he's smaller than him. And again, this is no disrespect to Charles Martin, but Charles Martin was in the fight until he wasn't in the fight. You know, Andy Ruiz, you know, I remember the Crispo Ariola fight. It was a fight. I still see people saying, yo, I think Chris won. He didn't win. He won the drama of the fight because he did a lot better than when the fight was announced. We was like, oh, he's fighting Chris. We already said Ruiz was going to win, and then he came in all in shape, and we was like, oh, okay, he's taking it serious now. Gets dropped. We was like, oh, what's happening here? And Chris had a lot of great spots in that fight. A lot of great spots. But I don't think this is not going to be an easy fight. And I still see people picking Andy to lose. They picking Andy to lose, you know, which could happen. Which could definitely happen.
That's like, can I chime in on something? I'm sorry, I had to step away from the mic for a minute, but I just wanted to say, you know, we gave the example of the Lennox being knocked out by Oliver McCall. There's another fight most recently that we can look at about technical tactical strategies, and that was Anthony Joshua against Alexander Usyk. Now, a lot of people felt like AJ should have just been able to be more physical against him and push him around and do things, use that jab on him and everything. But if you go back and watch that fight, one thing that is undeniable is that Alexander Usyk can box. He came up from the lower weight classes. He done come all the way up from wherever he was, middleweight, whatever. Because I think in the amateurs, he fought Sean Porter. But, you know, coming all the way up, that means that he came up being successful because he has skills. Now, he put on weight and didn't put it on in a bad way. You know, like, oh, I'm just going to get heavy and eat my way out. No, he grew. So now at heavyweight, where he's primarily going to be facing a lot of men that could be bigger than him in outright weight and sometimes even in height, but they're not as adept with skills as he is. One of the things he did to AJ in their first fight, and this is why the second fight is pretty much a shoe-in for Usyk unless he just runs into a shot by AJ. He was prepared to face whatever AJ was going to come. You have to understand that. Right. He was prepared for if AJ was going to jump him and be real physical or whatever, he was prepared for that. If AJ was going to come out and box him, which what he did try to do, he was going to be prepared for that. But during the fight, he took something away from AJ that AJ couldn't get back. And if you look at how the fight really ended, AJ was tapped out because he had no answers. You're not going to get those answers just a few months later with one fight camp with a new trainer. That doesn't happen. When Lennox went and rebuilt himself under Emmanuel Stewart, he had 3 or 4 fights before he went back in there with Oliver McCall again.
That's right. That's right.
The fight against Hasim Rahman, he had that right away because he knew what to do against Rahman right away. But
and that's what I was saying. He blew that fight. He blew it. He blew that fight.
Now, there was something that Usyk did to AJ in their fight that AJ will not be able to correct even in the second fight. You know what that is?
Go ahead.
Every time that AJ went to jab, Usyk jabbed either with him or countered over the jab or hooked over the jab.
Yeah.
But he always gave AJ something when AJ stuck that left hand out there. That's a masterclass lesson from someone who's experienced as a southpaw fighter who's fighting an orthodox fighter, because southpaws fight more orthodox fighters than orthodox fight southpaws.
Right, southpaws, yeah.
So he's seeing that shot all the time, his whole career. So he can take it away from you. Now, it is your job to learn what to do to stop that. in 12 rounds, AJ wasn't able to stop that. It played on his mental. Okay? Every time I stick my hand out, the guy's hitting me or something. So once you get the guy to stop doing what he's most comfortable doing, now you can start doing to him what you want to do to him.
And here's the danger. Usyk didn't have to do anything different.
There you go.
It kept working.
Now, do you think Robert Garcia going to tell AJ something to do against Usyk for the rematch that Usyk won't be ready for?
Thank you. There lies the problem.
He was ready for it all in the first go round, but he didn't have to use all of that because he was able to contend with what was brought.
That's
but
right.
If the guy comes out and tries to be Mike Tyson, you think that Usyk won't be ready for that? Like I said, AJ's chance in this fight, the rematch, is a puncher's chance. And Usyk already knows that. He knows that the man can't outbox him. Now, what can Usyk do to AJ that's a little bit different from the first fight? Not only can he take the jab away from him again, but this time he can punish him by banging the body.
Banging the body.
Banging the body.
And he's coming in there already with a chip on his shoulder because of what's happening in his country.
There you go.
They did that face-off. Usyk's dancing in the goddamn ring. They did the stare down. He won't take his eyes off of him. At this point, Usyk is going to smell blood early. And he's going to try and eat early. Now, Robert Garcia, smart coach. But what do we say? You can have a smart coach, but if your product can't execute, what's the point? It's like non-alcoholic beer. What's the point? It doesn't make sense. Can AJ execute? If when he sees something different, Usyk sees something different, he's a smart enough fighter to adjust to what he's doing. He's had tougher fights at cruiserweight. I've seen him. I've seen fights where he had to dig deep. I don't remember these guys' names, to be honest. But I've seen him fight a few times, and I've seen him have to dig deep. I've seen him get caught with some shit.
And AJ is not a tough guy. He's not.
AJ folds, man.
And
AJ folds.
And he's the kind of guy that needs reassurance. You know, he needs to be, yeah, you're doing good, son. He needs that kind of thing. But I'm gonna tell you something about Alexander Usyk, and it proves from, like I said, his amateur career, from wherever he started out, through the Olympics and through cruiserweight and now at heavyweight. There's something that nobody can take away from him. Do you know what that is? He is a winner. And when you have someone that is a winner, who has won at every freaking point that he can win, that's a hard thing to turn back.
It's very hard.
It's a hard thing to turn back. You have to be good. AJ is okay. We don't even know that he's good because of whom he's lost to already, and the way he's lost, and whom he has avoided. Because he had opportunities to become good by facing certain type of opposition that would challenge him, ask questions of him, and give him the opportunity to either succeed or fail. Remember, many people had picked him to beat up Alexander Usyk. I didn't, but many people did. And this is the thing. A proven winner is no longer a proven winner after someone comes in there and takes that away from them. I don't think that AJ is the guy to do that to Usyk.
Must be seen to believe. I want to address my brother RDR Films. He says you can still beat Usyk. He carries the same flaws he had from the amateurs. Just go watch the fight with him versus Beterbiev. I know about that fight, and let me say this: the problem here is everybody has keys to their door, to their house, or to their car. But if you don't have the right key, you ain't getting in. I don't think AJ carries the same tools that Beterbiev has.
There you go. And Beterbiev is a different man altogether. A different man. Did you see that ocean opened up over his head?
Christ.
Against Marcus Brown.
My God, yes.
Most guys that would have been like, oh man, this is
End of the
bad.
world.
I just want to get out of this fight. No, this man was like, okay, let's fight now.
Yep.
Marcus
He kept
Brown
going.
was looking over at Derrick James.
Like he ain't gonna stop.
What do I do now? You understand?
Yep. That's Usyk is a different breed.
When the final
That's
bell rang for AJ and Usyk, AJ went back to his corner and flopped on his stool and threw his head back
he looked like he was
thank God.
crying. He looked like he was crying.
He
And
said,
he
like,
wasn't
thank
hurt
God.
like that.
But guess what? The round ended like 8 seconds too early.
He almost got knocked out in the 12th round by Usyk. No one saw that coming. You know, and when we say he has no heart, everyone likes to refer to the Klitschko fight. You see, the thing is, Klitschko lands that right hand and he knocked him down. But it wasn't, he wasn't getting battered due to work rate. He came up, he recuperated. I give him props for that. But it was also that fight that I said, Deontay lands that fucking right hand, his career's over.
And Klitschko landed a right hand that he hardly threw throughout the fight. He didn't throw that right hand a lot, even after he had hurt AJ. The same thing he was having problems with against Tyson Fury 2 years earlier. He couldn't pull the trigger. That's why Fury was able to hit him, move, get out of the way. All Vladimir was doing was hunting him down all night like a robot, like Frankenstein, like this. He couldn't let the trigger go because the twitch muscles, he was done. He was shot.
He was done. What he wanted to do, his body, and I don't care how good he looked with his shirt off, he couldn't react like he used to. If that was Vladimir Klitschko from 10 years ago, AJ would have been done.
Exactly. And that's the very thing that we said that Lennox recognized in his own self.
He said, you know what? 5 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have knocked this guy out. I don't have to rematch this guy. I don't have to. I'm out the game. And salute to Lennox for that.
Now, if he had lost the fight, he probably would have come back to try to get his get back. But like you just said, he won the fight. There's no reason to have a rematch, and he could go sit down somewhere.
And I ain't got no problem with it. But you know, with this thing with Usyk and AJ, man, I'm just curious. I want to see how good AJ is as far as now. He's in his prime right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to see what changes Robert Garcia has made in him. And I'm sure I'm going to watch Usyk adjust to those changes. And when AJ goes back to the fucking corner, what do I do? Now I'm convinced that Robert will tell him, okay, we trained for this. This is what you do now. But what happens when Usyk adjusts to those adjustments? We're going to get the same results. And AJ might get stopped. He might get stopped this time.
And how about this? We put this on the table because it all figures under the X's and O's. Can AJ show Alexander Usyk something that he's never seen before? Now, turn around and ask yourself the same question about Alexander Usyk. Can he show AJ something he's never seen before? He did once already, but that's the difference in the fight right there.
Brother RDR's back. He says AJ has to be able to stand in front of him and trade. I'm gonna tell you why. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you why that's hell. Don't do that. And stand in front of him and trade. Be a little slick defensively. To I don't know if AJ can pull that back out of the bag. AJ and Klitschko to fight dug deep, but since he didn't want. Listen, I know what you're trying to say, RDR. That you want to get AJ killed, man. Don't stand. You know why? You know why that's a bad idea? Because he don't have a chin like Vitaly Klitschko. He don't have a chin like Deontay Wilder. AJ ain't got no chin. That last round of the Usyk fight, if that bell don't ring, he was going down. I was shocked that every time AJ got touched by Usyk, he had deer knees. You ever seen a newborn baby deer? They're trying to stand up. You seen a newborn baby horse? I was like, you ever seen an old person, you take their walk away, and they're like, I don't know why you would take a walk away from an old person, but you get what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm like, wait a minute, did he hurt him? When he first hurt AJ, everybody in the arena was like, oh, that hurt? It wasn't supposed to hurt. AJ doesn't have a really good chin. Because Usyk is not some super duper power puncher. That's not his label. But the fact that he can hurt AJ now, he can outbox AJ and he can hurt AJ. I'm curious, how does AJ win this fight? How does he win this fight? I don't see it. I must be made into a believer. Now it's boxing. He can go in there and land something. But I don't see it. Based off of how, like, Kambosos wants a rematch with Devin Haney. I'd be in for it if he had spots in that fight where he shined. But there's no part of that fight where I could look and say, yo, you know, if he did this, and that, he could beat Devin. There was no part of that fight he won. This is the same thing with the Usyk and AJ shit. There was no part of the now listen. A lot of you are saying that because AJ won some rounds. He did. But the rounds he won were not as dominant as the rounds that Usyk won. And why didn't he win those rounds after that? Because Usyk adjusted. And AJ's not a good thinker. Once plan A and B fails, he's in the corner like, why do I feel this way? Because you're getting knocked upside your fucking head. And your chin ain't good. So I don't, standing in front of Usyk was not a good idea. Not with that chin. Not with that chin. Oh, man. I don't know how AJ wins, but to bring the conversation full circle back to Andy Ruiz, fella, you got to get past Ortiz before you start talking about Deontay. And the fact that Deontay comes up in a conversation about you versus Ortiz is astonishing. Deontay's still the face of boxing. Everyone talking about him.
And why wasn't he talking about facing Deontay when he had a belt? Why wasn't he talking about facing Deontay when Deontay was active and thriving? You know, see, this kind of stuff, I don't like guys like that. You know, that sounds a lot like when AJ was talking stuff, mentioning Deontay's name every time Deontay had a fight. Remember? He was like, yeah, well, maybe, you know, if Wilder was really game, you know, he'll face me for all the belts and see who.
It's exactly like that. When they took this, this was after I forgot what fight this was, and it was more like they were just shooting the shit, joking around.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like serious. It sounded cute, but it wasn't. I ain't taking it serious. And then, you know,
because look, even though he was committed to a rematch with AJ, right? Yeah. He could have said, you know what? I want to go in here and beat AJ in my rematch, and then I would like to face Deontay Wilder. He never even said that. No, he just said, more butter, more cheese, more Peter, please. That's what he said. And he went into the fight with AJ and lost. Huh? He didn't lose no pounds, but he lost the pound. You feel me?
Oh my God.
Fucking bullshit!
Oh, wait, hold on. Speak to my brother in that Cash App. My brother L. Carter. I got you right now. Salute to my stalkers. I got one in the chat right now. And salute to the I'll be nice to y'all, the less knowledgeable boxing fans.
Unified, undefeated. Unified, undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What?
Undefeated.
What the hell is even that?
You see Malachi in there? 120 million. Whatever, dude. I'm not doing this with you today, man. My brother Art Hostage says world record for a knockout is 117 seconds. Deontay versus Ruiz could break that record, perhaps 12 seconds if Deontay takes it easy. I ain't fucking with you today, Malachi. Doodle fingers. I ain't fucking with you today, man. I'm having a good day. Y'all know what to do, Wrench Gang. Time him out to oblivion. He'll be back. Don't worry about it. Time him out. 120 million.
And tell him to wash his fingers before he come back up in here.
Word up, man. It's COVID out here. You got COVID all in your ass. You got COVID in your ass, and you wipe it. You don't cut your nails, and you just your dung beetle. You know the dung beetle? You know what I'm saying? The fuck? Get that doodle out your butt. But wash your hands, though. This motherfucker talking about 120 million. These motherfuckers are so stuck. You motherfuckers really, oh my God. More than likely, this short-lived saga with Deontay and AJ, this still motherfuckers run around saying that shit was Deontay's fault. You guys are sick.
Jamal Davis says he got monkeypox fingers.
Oh my God, they timed the shit out of him. Oh my God. That motherfucker got 300 seconds times 200 people in here.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. All right, fine. You're gonna make me do it. I gotta put up the Eddie Hearn video, man. I'll do it. Just for you. Doodle fingers. Look, all I gotta do is put in Eddie Hearn in my search, and the video comes right up. So, since you want to be a bowl of dicks, I'll do it.
Unscripted says 120 million timeouts.
All right, doodle fingers. All right, doodle fingers. Fine. Here's your education.
We already know the question I'm going to ask. Deontay Wilder offered $50 million.
It's very kind of you.
We already know the question I'm going to ask. Everybody wants to know Deontay Wilder offered $50 million.
It's very kind of you.
Are you guys going to take it? If not, why not?
Well, because we haven't had an offer yet. All we've had is a piece of paper from a guy from Alabama. So let's see a contract. Let's see the proof of funds. Let's see what we have to do and what our obligations are to earn that kind of money. If it's real, we have to look at it, and it's something that's of interest. But if they expect us to make a decision and accept a fight today based on a piece of paper from, as I said, a guy from Alabama, then they're widely mistaken.
First things first, I want to thank you and appreciate the invite that you had me to such a event.
No problem. Thank you for coming, sir.
I appreciate it. Now, Eddie, the last time we spoke and we did an interview, I asked you about Deontay Wilder and negotiations, and you said in two different separate occasions, you said that you need to see proof of funds. But I saw a video you did with IFL TV, and you said you never asked to see proof of funds. Could you clear up the confusion with that?
No, I haven't seen proof of funds. I haven't asked to see proof of funds. I've just asked some very simple questions, which they've answered, to be fair to them. Let's see proof of funds. 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 Let's see proof of funds.
I caught him, y'all. him saying I caught him.
Get the fuck out of my face. Hello, world.
Okay? Let me remind you, motherfucker. Eddie Hearn. I know all black people look alike. Me and Stormy are twins. But how the fuck does Eddie Hearn not know he was talking to the same media person and it was only like about 2 weeks later? He was talking to Blue. 1 minute, he said, let's see proof of funds. 2 weeks later, he says another ask to see proof of funds. Bro, stop. Just stop. Cut it out, man. Yeah, RDR, he's accessible and he's attacked because he's a liar. And I can't believe, did I lie in that clip? It's him. Let's see proof of funds. 2 weeks later, he tells the same guy, I never asked to see proof of funds. What the fuck? Credibility gone. I don't want to hear anything else he has to say. If he lies about something small like that, which is really big, what else is he lying about? He's lying about everything else. He lied. Deontay Wilder went into the office of the Zone. Told me about this $100 million. And when he left the meeting, they apologized for not having their business in order. What part of that are people not getting? That's on record. There's articles about it. Don't believe me. Don't believe Stormy or BFTV. Don't believe us. Look it up for yourself. They apologized. Yeah, we got this $100 million bag, but it wasn't there in Deontay's best interest. They fucked it up and they apologized. He didn't lead the office and say, yo, look, AJ was on it and we had these fights and he just didn't want it. They said, we're sorry. And now, DAZN America is no more. Do I have to play that video? I'm not. I already played it already. Nah, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. God damn. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll play this on the web. Let's do it. I mean, look, man. The American Takeover. Y'all remember that? Well, let's go. This is the American Takeover, y'all. Y'all forgot? Y'all must have forgot.
That reminds me of a song. It's called I'm a Failure. I can't do anything right. Everything I touch turns to wood. Except the things I need turn to wood. I use pills for that, but that makes my eyes bleed. So my life is a failure. My life is a failure. My life is a failure. My life is a failure.
Oh.
This journey is a failure. That song is a failure.
So there it is. There it is. So salute to my brother Paul Kerrigan at Cash App. He says supporting my interests. Much love and appreciation, bro. I appreciate you. So there it is. You know, Eddie Hearn fucked up. You know, and now AJ is. Look, man, I just want to see what happens, man. I just want to see what happens. I'm curious. If AJ can pull this fight off, Robert Garcia is going to get a lot of credit. But I know the general's on. I got to get out of here. Stormy, let these people, these fine people know where they can find you, brother. Stormy, you heard me?
What's that, man? Sorry.
I said let them know how they can find you, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was reading chat. Hey, man, everybody can find me right here on YouTube, man. Stormy B Man is the channel. I just dropped the link in the chat there. And we got a great show coming up this evening, man. We got Nerds on Culture coming back. We're going to talk about the Ninja film tonight. But yeah, great show, Drew. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad I was able to kick it with you this morning. And,
yes, sir.
you know, I brought a few laughs with me. So,
hell yeah.
But yeah, great subject too, because we were able to talk about the technical aspects of the things we laid out with the Dogboe fight. You know, even talking about this coming up with Ortiz and Ruiz. So it's, you know, that's the one thing that we do. We put it out there straight, man. You know what I mean? And that's what I enjoy. And I enjoy being a part of it. And again, thank you for having me this morning.
Anytime, big bro. Anytime. Salute to Art Hoskins. He says if Daniel Kinahan is ringside for AJ versus Usyk, then all bets are off. Badu Jack, who is a Kinahan capo, fighting on undercard. Man, listen. There's problems. Hashtag we want the list. I'd like to see the list. Salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda, Cash App, the Super Chats. Much love and appreciation, man. You guys make the show. And tonight, Noids on Culture on Stormy's channel, and also Painful Excellence Podcast here on this channel. I'm doing it here, but don't worry. Y'all will see it. Y'all will see it. And the General's on. Let's head over there. He's talking about, guess what? What Bob Arum said. Any announcement for Spence versus Crawford?
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.